Hey, welcome in. Well, here's the headline. RCMP praises Trudeau's censorship bill, claims it will see more things through to charges. So the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, is thrilled that it will get to arrest more people for saying things. So that doesn't sound terrible at all, does it? The RCMP said Bill C-36, a federal censorship bill, will be useful in prosecuting bloggers and Facebook subscribers because they're the real criminals. Bloggers. So this bill C-36, this censorship bill, so this was just snuck in on June 23rd, just minutes before Parliament adjourned for a 3-month recess. And I believe that was at like midnight they did it. So this is an act to amend the criminal code, and it threatens house arrest or $70,000 fines for any internet publisher, blogger, or social media user suspected of posting hateful content without incitement of any crime. So posting hateful content, whatever that is, without any incitement of a crime. So not committing a crime. So you can be under house arrest or have a $70,000 fine without committing a crime. So there's Canada for you. And of course, the RCMP is thrilled that this will see more things through to charges. And that was said by Corporal Anthony Statham of the RCMP's British Columbia Hate Crimes team. Law enforcement has to have the ability to use the law effectively. And the more authoritarian, the better, right? And if you can use the law against people who don't even commit a crime, that's even better. That makes it easy. Yeah, none of this is Orwellian at all. He said, quote, under Section 2 of our Charter of Rights, our freedom of expression is protected. But there is no such thing as free speech in Canada. Okay, if freedom of expression doesn't mean free speech, then it's meaningless. It's nothing. I mean, if freedom of expression doesn't include free speech, well, then you could just, in theory, just start arresting people who haven't even committed a crime, right? Oh, yeah, that's what they want to do. Yeah, nothing dystopian at all about this. So let's see. So this Statham, he noted that the current Section 319 of the Criminal Code forbids, quote, public incitement of hatred by communicating statements in any public space that incite hatred against any identifiable group. The term hatred is not defined. So, okay, that could be a problem, right? Because it's way too broad. It could mean anything. And who decides? Quote, the government is now proposing to add a definition of hatred under this section of the code. Now it may come as a surprise to many Canadians, just in general, the fact that we have this section that deals with promoting hatred, but we haven't actually defined what hatred is. So what is the change going to be to define it? Well, the bill would define hatred as the emotion that involves detestation or vilification, and that is stronger than dislike or disdain. Okay, so that really helps. So again, who's going to decide what's an emotion that involves detestation or vilification, and that is stronger than dislike or disdain? Him? That doesn't sound very good. But of course, the amendment would lead to more charges, says Statham, so he's thrilled by that. Here he says, quote, I think the proposal to do that is a very good thing. It may not seem like a massive development in terms of dealing with the scope of everything that's being talked about here today, but it will equip law enforcement to see more things through to charges in this country. And he's talking about for saying things on social media. And these aren't, it's not charges like, breaking and entering or assault or something like that, really serious charges, real crimes. This is for things people said on social media. And, again, who's going to decide? Is it going to be evenly applied? Is it going to be applied against somebody who has an emotion that involves detestation or vilification and that is stronger than dislike or disdain against, Catholics? I really have to wonder about that. I don't see the CBC demanding, investigations into online far left hate after all those churches have been burned down. But, we know how these things go, don't we? So anyway, Bill C-36 would make it a discriminatory practice to communicate or cause to be communicated hate speech by means of the internet or other means of telecommunications in a context in which the hate speech is likely to foment detestation or vilification of an individual or group of individuals on the basis of prohibited ground of discrimination. Which I guess basically means if Trudeau doesn't like it, it's illegal. Or it's not illegal, but you can still be punished anyway. Internet users suspected of vilification. You're being arrested for vilification, sir. Okay. Would be subject to house arrest on reasonable grounds, regardless of whether a crime occurred. Regardless of whether a crime occurred. Now, it does have the caveat here that Facebook content that discredits, humiliates, hurts, or offends would be exempt. So you can discredit someone, humiliate someone, hurt someone, or offend somebody. And in theory, I guess that'll be exempt, although the whole definition of what hate is still really broad, and it ultimately comes down to probably very biased people making the decisions on that, on what constitutes a hate crime or hate speech. The Department of Justice, in a June 23rd backgrounder document, said the measures would apply to public communications by individual users on the internet, including on social media, on personal websites, and in mass emails. Blog posts, online news sites, operators of websites that primarily publish their own content, and user comment sections. So essentially, just mass state censorship of the internet. That's what this really comes down to. This comes down to if you say something that would be deemed politically incorrect by those in power anywhere on the internet, we are coming for you. Do not dissent. Do not dissent from the narrative. We will punish you. That's what this is. And anybody from any part of the political spectrum that looks forward to something like this is an idiot, because it will be used against you. Because don't forget, the Overton window moves, it shifts. Governments change. And anybody who thinks something like this is a good idea cannot see beyond their own shadow. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast, Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.